Hello, girls. Happy Wednesday night. My girls from Team Hustle and Heart and Kaylee's girls from Team Grace for the Journey. Hi, we're so excited for you to be here with us tonight. Thank you to my girls for being flexible and showing up on a Wednesday because that's not typical. And just being willing to work together and to bring all of our creative minds and energy and positivity to one space. It's so powerful. And whether you see that now or you'll see it later, it's just going to be in your bones tonight that when you are live with your team, there's something so magical about that. So I'm proud of you for showing up. It will do wonders for you later. But tonight is going to be about inviting. And in my personal experience as an upline coach, I hear the most concern about this process over any other part about being a coach. You know, there are girls who might need help figuring out a workout program or maybe consistently posting on social media, but 9 times out of 10, when I'm talking to a coach that's struggling or they feel a little stuck or stagnant, they'll say, I'm not really inviting, or I've kind of been sending invites, but I don't know what I'm doing. So inviting is talked about a lot, not just how to do it, but why we do it. It's so important, guys, and we needed to be doing it consistently to see that growth. And it's hard sometimes to invite, and I totally acknowledge that. It's hard for me sometimes. And across the board, I said this today in the Diamond internship for the girls that aren't in that group, I'll say it again, but the biggest concerns that I hear behind that fear or hesitation to invite are, I'm afraid of rejection or someone saying no. I mean, how many people feel that? Even though you send them, you're like, oh my God, what are they going to say? And the second one, I don't know what to say, period. I don't know what to tell them. Or I can make conversation, I can be friends, I can spread sunshine, as I call it, but I don't know how to bring up Beachbody or coaching. So tonight we're going to break it down. It's going to be a tactical training specific to the invite process. It's going to be personalized to me and Kaylee because we can only share what works for us. I want you to remember that tonight. What works for us might not work for you, but we're going to share what we can. But inviting is a vital behavior. This morning I posted for my interns, I'll say it again. Vital behavior literally means like you need to take this so seriously, guys. It's not a recommendation. The word vital literally means it's essential and necessary. And it's so true. The invite process is vital to your success as a coach. You know, whether you're leading challengers or whether you're empowering other coaches to lead, those conversations can't take place. Those decisions can't be made by other people unless you start that conversation. And it's the heart and soul of what you do. So tonight's going to be about empowering you to do it and equipping you to do it. And you might be someone that's already so awesome at sharing your journey on social media. Maybe you love posting to Instagram or take pride in your feed, or you share a lot of workout clips and you're showing up. But when it comes to engaging one-on-one, maybe you freeze up or you feel like you don't know what you're doing. First of all, it's cool if you don't know what you're doing. We all start that place, right? That's fine. But I don't want you to feel like, you know, you're not doing it because you're scared and that's why you'll never do it. Because the fear of will they say no, or will they actually listen to what I have to say, or what if they don't reply? Like, here's the thing. Those feelings are so real. They're valid, but they're not serving you in this business. They're not serving you in your personal journey. Whether you're a coach or whether you're afraid of rejection in any area of your life. I want you to acknowledge tonight that the fear is there, and then I want you to do it anyway. There's nothing in this life that you're excellent at that didn't take time developing that skill. Like, I will take you back to your childhood, my friend. Like, you learned to swim, you learned to ride a bike, to drive a car, to pay for tuition and your phone bill and car insurance. None of those things came naturally. Someone showed you how to do them. Most of them are probably terrifying for you, but after a while, those things become habit, and then the fear dissipates because it's about consistency. Like, think about your drive home from work tonight or your drive to school in the morning. You could probably do it with your eyes closed, right? And it's just that familiar to you at this point. But when you were 15 learning how to drive, do you remember checking your blind spot like 50 times before changing lanes? Or like fumbling with your rearview mirror as if that even mattered? Like, we start at the beginning. And I want you to remember that. We all start at that same place. No one enters this world a step ahead because it takes a lifetime of practicing things to become skilled at anything, just like no one enters this business knowing everything. And I want you to know that, because even though I might be confident in my inviting process, it took a hot minute to get here. And we all start at the beginning. Coach rank when we start up. I want that to empower you and not discourage you, because it's a matter of mindset and action, whether you allow yourself to stay where you started. You know? Haley, you got anything to give them right now? Or else I will keep going.
No, keep rocking with it. I'm feeling this.
All right. Sorry, we got a sore throat here tonight, guys. All right. So in terms of inviting, this is something that I have not personally experienced because I'm just a naturally conversational person, and I will admit that. Some people, they're shy and it's hard. And I feel for you because it's a fear you have to get over. But I have other strengths and weaknesses, and my weakness might not be inviting, but for some of you, you might be frustrated that some people just get it and maybe you just don't, or it's easier for them. Or look how confident she is when she cold messages. Or I wish I came across that way. Stop it. Like, that negative BS is not okay. It's not serving you. You're keeping yourself in your same place because you're self-limiting, and it's inaccurate. Like, there's nothing special about a coach who's sending engaging and fun and effective invites, because everyone's audience is different, and you have to mold what you're saying to them based on the response you get. And what I mean by that is, you're gonna fail, you're gonna be ghosted, you're gonna hear no's, but then you keep pushing forward and you model your conversations based off what worked and what didn't. And the difference between the people that get it and you, if you don't, is belief. That's what it is, guys. The person who sends an engaging and fun and effective invite is the person who presses send, knowing that no matter how that person responds, they're gonna be fine. Someone's reply does not define you as a coach, and it absolutely should not keep you from trying again and again. My response rate is not 100%. My sign-up rate is not 100%. It's less than half. It's less than probably 25%. That's why you send so many invites. But you've got to fail forward. I'm willing to do that, and that's why I feel good about this process, and that's why it's fun to me now, is because it's like a happy surprise if someone wants to join me, and if not, oh well, I'll send another 15 or 20 tomorrow. Maybe I'll change someone else's life tomorrow. But, you know, the reason I need you guys to be open and transparent about this process is because it's what your business is built on. It will determine how deeply you can grow your downline. It will determine how interactive and engaging your challenge groups are. And when I asked you to say, like, how many invites you sent yesterday, or did you hit that 20? That's me making you be real with yourself. Did you or did you not break a promise to yourself? Or did you, do you have a physical invite to show me that you sent yesterday? And, if you sent it, are you proud of it? Or was it thoughtless? Or were you like, man, this was good, I can't wait to share this? That's why we share, because we need to grow, and we all do it differently, and we're going to learn from each other tonight. And that's what I'm so freaking excited about. But Kaylee and I, it's our job to share exactly what we know and what we've learned and experienced along the way. But we didn't know these things until we went out and figured it out for ourselves. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to jump off the dock and, sink or swim. We're going to give you some floaties here, but you can't just tiptoe in the shallows. Does that make sense? Is that a decent metaphor? Okay. Kaylee, I want to hear you.
Okay, so one thing that I actually would like to know for myself, and you girls can just I want this to be a super fast and rapid response. And I'm literally just going to popcorn right down the line. But I want to know what it is that holds you back from inviting. What is the limited belief that you have in your mind? What is the objection to you sending an invite? What is that? Because if I'm being truthful with you girls, I honestly don't understand. I really don't. And, it's not to say that I don't care about how you girls are feeling, because that's so far south, because I do. I love each and every one of you. But I just don't get it, Because in my mind, I'm like, so what you talk to a stranger today? I have to talk to the stranger that I pay like to get my gas from. I hold doors for strangers. Like I literally check in strangers every day at the tanning salon. Like, so what's the point? Who cares? To me, it's almost easier for me to sit behind a screen and put myself out there than it is to go up to somebody and be like, hi, like imagine having you do that like face to face, like, hi, I'm Kaylee. Like, would you like to, like, no. And so it's just like, I guess for me, I want to hear from you girls, what is holding you back? Is it not having confidence? Is it not knowing what to say? Is it fear of rejection? Is it you're not following up? Like, what is holding you back? Because I just don't get it. To me, it's like, who cares if they judge you? Who cares if they say no? Who cares if they ghost you? Who cares? Because they're watching you anyway. So I put my Zoom and gallery view, and I'm just going to popcorn to each and every one of you, and I want it like super, super fast. And I'm just going right down the line. So Amanda, what is the biggest, like, what is your fear?
I don't think I have a fear with inviting, but I will say that I spend so much time on trying to craft an invite that's perfect for that specific person that I feel like it's taking me so long to get through invites. Like, it takes me almost an hour to do my 25 invites every day, which I feel like is just way too long.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was I talking to the other day? I think it was Rhea, and she was like, I watched this video, and Sammy Glonick was talking, and she was saying that if it takes you any longer than a minute to send an invite, you're doing it totally wrong. So how can we help you be prepared to send that? Is that having a couple scripts on board and just tweaking things as you're sending it? How can we help you get over that so it's not you taking up a whole power hour or a whole night just sending out invites? What can you do to make that a little bit better for yourself? What about you, Madison V? Can you talk tonight? What is what's holding you back? What's up?
To piggyback off of what she said, like I texted my girls and I told them, like, completely honestly, I haven't sent any invites in like a month. And then today I sent 11, and it took me forever. Mm-hmm. Just finding people, even because I went out into like the cold market a little bit. Excuse me. So it was like finding people that looked like they would fit with me type deal took me a while, and then trying to like find common ground without sounding just super salesy, and right. So trying to like spread sunshine like Liz always says all at the same time. Like, just getting that momentum down took me a while. My personal fear is that I just have to get the fuck over, I'm sorry for my language, is a lot of my followers are people from my super, super small town. So a lot of the people that I'm asking is from my super, super small town, and those people talk like none other. So like that just worries me, but I say it out loud and I'm like, well, why are you even saying that? So
yeah, I can totally validate that, because I also come from a small town, and one of my very first jobs was working at a tanning salon, and all of the girls there are the size of my thigh, and they're tan and they're beautiful, and I never fit in. I literally stuck out like a sore thumb. Sometimes I still do, but I could sell at that tanning salon like nobody else's business, and I was always number one, and nobody could touch me, and that's something that intimidated them. And they would talk about me. They would talk about what color my skin was. They would talk about my weight behind my back. They would make fun of me. And you know what? It took joining Beachbody. It took me getting over my damn self. It took me reaching out to people and actually making changes in strangers' lives that gave me the confidence to say, I don't give two F's what your opinion about me is. I really don't care, because now I have something that you can't touch. And that's self-love, self-worth, and confidence. So go into every invite knowing that nobody can touch you. You want to know why? Because you are loved. Every face that's on this computer is here for you. They're supporting you. They're cheering you on. We're all here for each other. So nobody can touch you once you get over the fact that you do have a genuine, true gift, and you have something to offer somebody. And if you're helping somebody, who cares what they say? Talk is so cheap. So remember that. What about you, Rhea? What's your fear?
Going off of Amanda and Madison, I don't really have a fear of inviting. It's just I spend so much time looking through profiles, like Madison said, trying to find common ground where I can authentically be like, hey, like, you know, we have this in common, and start up that conversation. And two, again, not really what's holding me back, but it's knowing how to approach private accounts versus accounts that aren't private. So having to wait for like their approval and how much time you should be spending on that and things like that.
Okay. So maybe that's something that we need to break down for you girls. Maybe it's also a routine thing. Maybe you need to start breaking up the time that you're spending on coaching. So maybe you have, 30 minutes in the morning or 30 minutes on your lunch break where you're actually going through and finding some profiles and jotting them down. And then the invite comes that afternoon. What about you, Rain?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
That's okay.
I wasn't prepared.
That's okay. Surprise.
Honestly, like I don't think I have too much of a problem with it. Like I was nervous, but then I sent out like my 20 invites yesterday. Actually, my goal was only 15 and then I got to 15 and I'm like 5 more.
I love that.
Like, I am so like just in love with Beachbody and being a coach. Like why wouldn't I want to share that with somebody else?
Right.
And I know that like in my post, like I say, like I like video games and working out, which is a weird like thing to men, but I still love it. And so like I'm going to share both,
Absolutely. That's you. That's who you are. And I'm really proud of you for getting to 15 and being like, I can do way more than that. That's huge. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Okay, what about you, Rachel? Not Rachel Elizabeth, because I see that the vacuum is running and I will read what you wrote. The other Rachel.
Okay, my biggest fear for inviting is responses that I don't know how to reply to.
Give me an example of one. Can you think of one on the fly?
Like I can't even think of one right now.
That's okay.
Because it's those type of ones that I don't know how to reply to.
What about it's too much money or I don't have any money? Is that a common objection that you guys hear? Yeah, okay. So how I personally, and Liz, you can give so much input here too, but how I personally take that when people say that they don't have money is I first make sure that they are fully aware that it is a one-time cost. You will never pay $160 again. It's one time only. Once they're aware of that and they're like, no, I still don't have the money, I say, okay, would you like to help? Would you like me to help you save? And they're either going to do one of two things. They're going to read my message and keep it on read, or they're going to say, what? Like, how can you help me save my own money? And it's going to take, you know what this process is? So you ask them when they get paid, how much are they willing to put away? What date will you have this money by? Not just so I can sell you something, but so I can celebrate that we did this together. You don't know me, I don't know you, but we're talking every week and we're building a relationship, and they start to learn who you are. They start to trust you. They start to get excited through the process, right? They get excited about that. And they're like, wow, she really is a genuine person. She doesn't have to help me do this, but she's choosing to. I don't have to help anybody save their money. I could say, okay, thank you, next, and go to the next person right down the line. But the fact that you're putting yourself out there and saying, you know what, I really genuinely am invested. I care about you. So I want to help you. Like, let me help you save your money and let me follow up with you at this date when that money's saved so we can get you started. How cool is that? If somebody did that for me, I would seriously be forever just tied to that person, because I think that's so amazing. That's called going above and beyond as a person, but that's also called going above and beyond in your own business. Sure, it's time consuming, but you know what the difference between every face on here is and other people is other top coaches probably don't do that. Do you think top coaches do that? Because I truly, genuinely don't. Maybe some of them do, but that's what's different. We're genuine. We're talking from the heart, right? Did you want to add anything to that, Lizzie?
I love that you're giving a solid, tool that I know I haven't shared with my girls. And I love that. It's such a personal touch. And I mean, realistically, how much extra time are you devoting? You know what I mean? You're not going to sit down with them and go through, okay, this is what your phone bill costs, and this is what you pay for groceries. you're just helping them be aware that, you know, this is what you can afford right now, and these are ways that you can save. And the way that I'm going to segue off that and what I do with helping my girls, I relate to them. No matter what the objection is, I always relate to them. I don't know if you've heard of the feel, felt, found method, but you tell them, like, girlfriend, like, your feelings are valid. Always validate them. You tell them how you felt when you were signing up. I will always tell my girls when they say 160 is something they can't afford that I almost went negative in my debit account when I signed up in September. Literally right like at the beginning of my college semester, I was like, oh God, I did not save money this summer. Why am I doing this? But I did it because I knew the potential. And then in order to afford Shakeology, if someone says that, I said, you know what? It seemed like a lot of money to me at first too. And then I realized I went through the Starbucks drive-through at least 4 times a week and spent $5 no problem, and never thought twice about that habit. And my shakes cost less than that, and they're so good for me. So it's more like I thought I didn't have the money, and then I realized I actually did have the money. I was just choosing to spend it on other things. Like, are there habits when you think about it that you might be able to eliminate that could help you afford something that's so good for you? Like, it's changed my life. I want to help you afford it too. Always relate, always give your experience, because I don't think there's a single person on here who has a Dollar Tree in the backyard. That's the name of a store. A tree like that money grows on. God dang it. Money doesn't grow on trees. I think all of us agree. We earn our money. We feel like we need to protect it and not give it away to all of these causes. And that's how everyone you talk to feels. Certain people are okay spending $150 at Sephora or on their hair or on a single Patagonia fleece. But when it comes to investing in their health, they're like, oh God, that's too much. Relate to them and tell them where you started and why you made the decision to do what you did. Because they're going to appreciate the fact that you are a human being like them and you had that struggle too.
I absolutely love that. I really like that a lot. I hope that you girls wrote that down because that's really good. That's gold. What about you, Brie? Oh, sorry, just saw you take a drink.
That's okay. So for me, I have a really big warm market. Like, I have a lot of siblings and a lot of people who I like talked to when I was in high school and in college. So that was where I struggled the most. Like, I've noticed the more my cold market invites have been a lot easier for me because the people who are like warm invites, I'm like, they know me more. So I recently like sent an invite to a girl who I used to work with in high school, and her response was like super off-putting, but it was a really great lesson for me this past week, and I sent it over to Kaylee. But basically she was like almost like offended that I had invited her, and I was like, whoa, like why what's going on? Like, why are you offended? She's like, we haven't talked in like 4 years, and this is the first thing. And I was like, you have to understand that we have been in each other's life on social media. So I feel like I know your entire life. What do you want me to tell you? You're going to law school, like you live in DC. And she's like, I know, it's just that we haven't, and so like we were able to diffuse the situation. Like, she wasn't pissed off at me anymore, and we talked about it. She's like, girl, when you come to DC, we'll grab some coffee. And it was fine, but it just really made me realize that, like, especially with warm market people and like when you're first starting to get to know people, I think I have to kind of reevaluate my approach to make sure that I'm actually getting to know that person a little bit before I just say, hey, want to join me? And they're like, I don't really know. So that was a good lesson for me, but it was also super uncomfortable and scary. And I think that made me just realize that probably the scariest part for me is more my warm market than it is the cold market, because I really could care less what strangers think of me. It's like people who know me that I'm worried about, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we've all learned a lesson or two when it comes to inviting, and, you know, you're still new at this. Like, we're all, like, most all of you are still new at this. And that's okay. Like, you're going to run into things like that. But when it goes back, like, just like Madison was talking about, small town, you're talking about people that know you. All of those people that know me now give me compliments. You look so great. Wow. Like, and I'm like, yeah, like, we weren't saying that last year. Like, so thank you. You know what I mean? So I feel like people, I don't know. I feel like you just cannot let them touch you. You really can't. What about you, Liz? What do you have to say to that?
In terms of the small town thing, I can relate, but I'm going to talk more about the relationship building, because I have a very hard time sending cold messages, but whether or not I'm sending something to a cold market girl or a warm market girl, I will always lead off with, thank you for, keeping up with my journey. It seriously means a lot. It'll be a lot more Liz and quirkier than that. I told you my dog would try to get in. Son of a gun. That laundry basket's going to tip over. Kaylee, you want to take over for a hot second? I swear to God.
Yes. I'm so sorry. It's 8:30 and I'm scarfing down dinner and I'm starving. We're going to break down how to invite for you a lot better, but I think where Liz was going was kind of starting to give you a sample of those invites. So, saying thank you for following my journey and making it personal, so it's not just so cold and, here it is. Not that you did that, Brie, because I did read it. But thanking them, thanks so much for following my journey. Thanks for liking my last photo. I see that you're consistently watching my stories. Thank you. Liz is back. Thank you. Liz, you can take over now. I have no idea where you're going to pick up with that.
Oh my God. I'm sorry about that, guys.
No, you're fine.
Her grandparents are absent right now. So when it comes to building relationships, no matter who I'm talking to, it is so important for me to remind them that I know that they are an individual and that their goals don't look like mine, and their story is something that they need to share with me before I can offer something to them, because whatever they share with me is going to determine whether I think, oh my God, you'd be perfect for this boot camp, or holy crap, coaching would be perfect for you right now. And I love my people to know that I care about their journey and I want to meet them where they are, instead of, here's my opportunity, come grab a spot. And it works for some people, but my people, they want me to get to know them, and they want me to ask, how their job's going or how school's going, or show that I remembered that they were applying to grad school and they got in, or, any little thing. I need to connect with my girls on a personal level before Beachbody enters the conversation. So that's really important to me. And I called it spreading sunshine earlier. I don't know if this is my method anymore, but at one point in my tracking notebook for conversations, I'd have their name, their date that I'd follow them, and I would check it off when I spread sunshine. And that's me dropping in their DMs after liking some pics, maybe commenting on one and saying girlfriend, I'm so freaking pumped that I found you on here. I love meeting other Pitbull moms. Your dog is adorable. I hope you have the best day. Period. Done. I'm out of my inbox, and that's all they got from me. And they're like, wait, who is this girl? They go to my profile. Maybe they can tell I'm a coach right away or not, but she didn't send me an invite, or she's not trying to spam me. Oh, that's cool. And then we'll see how the conversation goes. I get to know her, she gets to know me, and if it feels right there, I'll send an invite, or I'll offer her yeah, I actually host boot camps. Do you want to be with a group of my girls and we do a workout together this month? Or, I feel it out. That's just who I am. It's so personal for me.
Was that helpful, Brie?
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of what I've started to do more of, because before I think I had it programmed in my mind, we have to do a certain number of them. And then on our last team call, I think it was you, Liz, you said something quality over quantity. And that struck me, because I realized the conversations that went best for me were ones that didn't, the first message I sent didn't say Beachbody in it. Those ones seem to be going better for me. So I've been trying to do that a little bit more, but I think it just has kind of made me take more time to look through profiles and made me kind of put a little bit more into it, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, but yeah, it's still something I'm trying to figure out how my process looks, I guess.
I like that. And I'm just going to quick add on to, if the way that you're inviting people is not something that you would respond well to, it's not going to work well for your people. Because the people you're reaching out to probably are like you. And if you're not going to respond well to a cold invite, or it would rub you the wrong way the way you word something, don't send it. Take that extra step. And I had something else to that. If someone else wants to talk, they totally can, while I try to think about.
Piggybacking off of that, just know too that it's only day 3 of this group. So don't put so much pressure on yourselves. The reason that I'm doing this with you and doing this exercise is because I want you to be able to know that there's other people that are struggling. I want you to be able to verbalize what you're feeling and what your personal struggles are. And I want you to know that for every limiting belief that you have, or whatever's holding you back, or whatever, is on your heart, I have an answer. I have a solution to that. To every single one of you that is going to speak, like, we have a solution. It's only day 3. So don't feel like, yes, we want you to hit the ground running. Yes, you're taking this seriously. Yes, all of your beautiful faces are on tonight, but don't feel like you have to learn everything and pick this up so quickly, because we're just at the beginning. And I guarantee that by next week at this same time, you're going to feel so much better about the invite process. I guarantee you. Did you remember what you were going to say, Liz, or did you want me to go to the next person? Next person, okay. Mackenzie, what about you? You're next on my screen.
I probably agree with like most of what everyone else has said. Like, I don't feel like I really have a problem with just like inviting people. Like, I don't really care what they say, yes or no. Like, I'm kind of like, if they say yes, I'm like, oh, cool, let's keep chatting. My thing is just like finding people. Like, I feel like I've exhausted a lot of my like warm market at this point, and I've invited those people multiple times. Like, the people who said no to me like 6 months ago, I've invited them like over and over again, and they're probably like, this girl needs to shut up, but they still watch my stuff, so I still invite them. But I don't know, just like finding new people, I feel like is really difficult for me. I'm in like a point in my life where I'm like not really doing much. Like, I'm not in college and I'm not like in grad school yet, so it's like I don't really, it's kind of hard for me to like find people to connect to.
Okay.
I feel like is that the third person tonight who said something along the lines of they don't know who to talk to, or it takes long to find someone they connect with?
Yes.
How about we do a training on that?
Yeah. Okay. I see some hands out there. Yeah. I'm literally everything that you guys are saying, and I'm just going to like rapid fire through the rest of you. Not that you're not important, but I feel like you guys all are struggling with the same thing, and I'm writing everything down. So I'm going to keep going. You very quickly tell me, because I know Liz has we have so much good information that I want to get to. But I don't want anyone to feel left out. But we can easily do, like, this is so helpful for us. It opens our eyes to see what you guys are struggling with, because we can take this and we can jump in and do a training, and you will feel better. Nicole, give me yours really quickly, please. Oh, you just said you don't have to ask me. My answer is the same as the others. Okay, got it. I got you. What about Alyssa H?
Hi. I agree with Madison, how I don't want to sound salesy when I'm inviting ever. And also like not making genuine connections yet. And also with Rachel D, I feel like my social media presence isn't where it should be yet. So.
Okay. Absolutely. I got you, babe. What about you, Alondra?
For me, it's, I guess, not thinking about it. I wonder if, like, all the people I invited before, if I would have just started a conversation with them first, it would have went completely different instead of just sending in the invite. So, like, I was doing my power hour before this, and I'm just, like, looking at all these names. I'm just like, but who do I need to invite? Like, or who should I invite? Or, like, why should I invite them, kind of thing. So it is finding people, starting a conversation. I am shy and I am an introvert, and it is easier online, but it still scares me just to find something common. Because I have had that happen to me where, oh, this person's my DM, compliments me, and then drops me a sales pitch kind of thing. So that's where it's like, I want to do that, but then again, it's kind of how it goes in the sense. But I think those are. So I'm not afraid of inviting anymore. It's just the conversation, that part that scares me now.
Okay, I wrote that down. What about you, Jody?
So along with other girls, I would probably just say, like, just finding like common ground and finding people that relate to me, I guess. So.
Absolutely. What about you, Kaylee G?
Pretty much the same thing. Like, I feel like I waste so much time scrolling through to like find people I even want to follow and like stuff like that. And then when I do message them, I almost feel like ungenuine, like I have a hidden agenda, which like totally isn't the case. Like I love getting to know people and stuff like that, but I feel like they think I have a hidden agenda, if that makes sense.
It does. I understand what you're saying, and I'm writing that down.
Cool.
Thank you for that. Thanks for sharing. What about you, Taylor?
Okay, so I feel like it's finding those connections like everybody else, but the another part that I struggle with is I'll send out invites and like I just got engaged, so I look for people who like get engaged. I'm like, oh my gosh, congratulations, like wedding planning is so fun. But then they never see it. So that's where I struggle, is them like actually seeing the message and not like they're not ignoring me because they didn't see it. So
Absolutely.
And like I've talked to Liz about this before too, to like check back in, but they still don't see it. So it's like, where do you go from there?
Absolutely.
Can I quick give you a solution to that? Is that okay, Kaylee?
Yeah.
Instead of looking up hashtags from people that might have posted like hashtag engaged life, and maybe it was way back in July and they're not actually on Instagram enough to check their inbox, go to pages like whatever wedding industry like businesses there are, go to their recent posts and look at the people that comment and like on those, because they were on Instagram today or yesterday, and you know they're probably going to be there tomorrow. So they're going to be a lot more likely to respond, because you know that they're at least actively, you know, using their social. Does that make sense?
Well, the ones that I did reach out to had just gotten engaged like a few days, like it was like the hashtag I said yes like a few days ago, like recent post. So I think that's just where but I'll do that too.
Try it out, let me know how it goes.
Okay.
And congratulations, pretty girl. That's
Thank
so
you.
exciting. What about you? Is it Taryn?
Yeah, good job. You said it right. Hello.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Taryn? I love that name.
Thank you. So for me, I did PB&J invites, and I love those. And I have no problem like finding people or people finding me. It's when I send those PB&J invites and then they kind of dance around the topic or ignore it completely, and then I get to know them, and then how to bring it back to Beachbody without making it seem like I'm just getting to know them for the sale. I'm just having trouble getting out of that kind of conversation.
And I can totally help you with that. I love that. What about you, Amy?
Hey everyone. So mine more so like I can I can relate to people and invite people, but my part is when I get to the share cart. Like that is just, I have to get over that because that's totally not me. And I mean, if I receive that, like that's like a turn off for me personally. And so like where Liz, where you were saying like you gotta, what people, or like how you feel things is like how other people would feel things. Like I'm going to spend my money how I want to spend my money. I'm going to do what I want to do type thing. And so that's where it basically it drops off for me, because I would be better like with a link and like say like walk through, because I'm super personable in that thing. And so just breaking down that whole like share a cart thing for me.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I genuinely appreciate it. Madison A., are you able to speak? Was she the one in the bathtub? Are you still in the bath? If you are, no, she's not. Okay.
She's probably
breastfeeding.
Oh, sorry. I'm so awkward. Yikes. Just ignore me. Madison A., she said what she's doing what, Liz?
She's probably feeding Nolan.
Okay. And then Rachel Elizabeth said that the vacuum was running. I'm going to go back up to your question. Sorry, guys. I'm just a little weird tonight. I'm a little awkward. Okay. Getting ready to leave for vacation in 2 hours. Wow, I wish I was you. Have the best time. She says, I haven't really invited yet because I feel like I haven't built a social media presence very well. So I feel like I don't have much ground for that yet. I've just started to really figure out social media and time spent on coaching. I'm also working on how to fit coaching into my nursing job. So I'm slowly starting to get, so I'm slowly trying to get started with everything. Okay. So first off, thank you all for sharing all of that, because I literally have like a sticky note and a half of everything that you said. And Liz and I we'll work really hard to make our next team call or even posts geared towards what you girls are struggling with. And that insight was so helpful. Another reason that I wanted to take the time for each and every one of you to speak is because A, your voice is heard, and B, look at all of these people that are struggling with the same thing. It is not just you. It really isn't. So I have everything. We're going to work on it. And I think that we have a lot of good things. I'm already starting to think, you know, Liz and I have a lot to talk about, and we have a lot of good things to be able to share with you. So thank you for doing that. I'm going to let Liz pick up.
All right. So first of all, I want to just piggyback and say thank you for sharing, because I know that it can be hard to admit that something's difficult, and then it's even harder to pinpoint why something's hard for you. So not only does it help us, but I think it's going to help you too to get clarity on why something gives you, you know, the willies in the first place, and figuring out, okay, this is a small part of this process and I can easily fix it, and we're going to try to help you. So thank you. Like I said, the way I invite is a little different than the way Kaylee invites, and it's going to be different, you know, from Alyssa and Jody and Ilandra and everybody on this call, because your people are different from my people. But in terms of me, like, I will tell you my formula, because I think formulas are really helpful. I'm not going to give you a perfect script, because the way I say something is not the way that you should be saying something to your people. They're signing up with you and not me. And I think it shows that you really care about your business when you take the time to craft a message that sounds like you, and then you can refer back to that and tweak it a little bit, because that's what I've done. But I use the PB&J method as well. So I'll start by saying, like, thank you so much for following me. I know that this can be such an awkward, you know, journey, and I try to share it so authentically, so it means so much that you support me. And then I'll compliment them, because girls love compliments. They can't be mad at you if you compliment them. And I will say something so personal. It's not like shallow, oh my God, you're having such a good hair day. Oh my God. No, it's, you have the most beautiful family. And if they post workout videos in front of their kids, like, I love that you're modeling a healthy mom that takes care of herself, because I feel like so many moms don't give themselves the time of day. Like, that means so much to me, and I love following people like you. Then I might swoop in with the invite right there and say, like, how would I say this? The fact that you're already sharing your journey so openly and inspiring me shows that you are basically doing what I do, but you're not getting paid for it yet. Like, I don't know if you know about, you know, online health coaching, or if you've ever heard of Beachbody, but I actually do this and make an income doing it. Is it something you would want to be, or something you'd want to learn more about? And then I always close it off by giving them an out. I used to think that this showed weakness, like saying, like, oh, if you don't want to do it, it's fine. Like, sorry to bug you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not showing that I'm insecure or that I'm not confident that they'll see value in what I have to offer. I'm just putting the ball in their court and showing them that this is your decision. And I acknowledge that maybe the timing won't feel right, or that, you know, it's going to feel a little scary, but I'll say, like, you know what? Either way, I just want to be able to support you on your journey. I would be over the moon if someone like you wanted to be on my tribe. You know, even if you're not totally into the idea, like, I'm still going to be here being your hype girl, because that's just the kind of person I am. Like, I'm so happy I found you. Done. And guess what? It's not a quick copy and paste message, but I'd rather send 5 quality PB&Js than 15 casual, hey girl, thanks for liking my picture. My boot camp starts next Monday. Would you be interested in more info? They don't, that's so robotic. That's so gross. If you're sending those, please stop. That doesn't work for anybody. And if it does, where's the longevity there? Like, they don't actually know you. And if you spend time with people now, they're gonna stick around. Like, the girls on here that are my girls, did I send you some bullshit like that? I don't think I've ever sent one of those in my life. And they don't work. That's why I don't do it. They don't work for me. So, like I said, don't send something that you would have a difficult time responding to, or that you wouldn't like to receive. Send something that you would respond so well to, that would inspire you and make you feel comfortable and safe and welcome and related to and understood. Take the time to get to know people, because they are people. They're not Success Club numbers. I have the people that help me earn those numbers. I have their names written down on a board, so I remember that. Yeah, I earned Success Club 4, but I helped Jenna and I helped Elizabeth. And I know that all month long they're staring me at the face like, those are the lives that I helped change this month. Don't forget that there are people there. And everyone's different. Their goals are going to be different. And they're going to appreciate that you took the time to get to know them as a person. Also, oh my God, if there's one thing I can tell you, okay, I know Kaylee has some ideas here, but when I say like things to avoid, stop ending your messages with "let me know." No one's gonna let you know. End off with a question. It's a lot more likely that someone's going to respond, whether or not you're asking a question about their dog or their kid or joining a boot camp. Don't say "let me know." Don't. It shows that you're complacent and you're not professional. You can say something like, I have 5 spots officially open. Enrollment closes on Sunday. Would you want me to save a spot for you? That's a lot better way to word it, and they're going to take you seriously because they know that there's a sense of urgency there and you take it seriously. So hopefully that's some tactical advice for you guys tonight. But I appreciate all the feedback because holy crap, do we have some material to use. What are your thoughts? I say that too. Or what are you thinking? That's a follow-up I send a lot too. Like, girlfriend, I'm so excited. I know we talked about this last night. I just wanted to follow up and see like, what are your thoughts? Perfect. I love that. Amanda, what's the PB&J invite? Amanda, look up on YouTube PB&J method or invite, and I think the coach that does a training on it is like Meg Kozlowski, maybe. Does that sound right? She's a pale blonde girl in Minnesota. It's worth your hour of time. Oh, okay. Perfect. I didn't realize when you sent that. Does anyone have questions?
Can I add
a question? Oh, sorry.
Just kidding.
So just at the beginning of this call, like Maria and Kaylee were talking about how invites shouldn't take long, but I feel like I do similar to that. And that takes me, like, that's what takes me so long, is because I do that. And I try to really invest in what I'm writing to that person to send 20 invites. So is that okay? Or should I not be sending as many maybe and just be sending more quality but less quantity like Bree had talked about?
Can I answer this really quick? And then I want to hear like what Liz has to say. But I honestly, obviously they should always be quality over quantity. Always, always, always. But I also think that you need to have a couple of them saved in the note section of your phone or a file on your computer, because when you are inviting, like, you're pushing for a big goal. And when you are inviting so many people, of course you don't want to sound robotic and, be sending out these just generic, here it is, you want to get to know them. But you also know what you sound like. You also know what your invite sounds like. So maybe you're tailoring a couple of different things. Maybe you're adding something. That's what should take a minute. If I have a couple of different scripts, I know Lizzie has a couple of different scripts. So if you are copying and pasting them, of course you're going to have to tweak it towards what your potential, challenger or coach looks like. But I don't think that you should be coming up with something new every single time, because that's wasting your time. You know what you sound like, you know what you're trying to get done and what you're trying to get at. And one of them that I shared in my group was super, super simple. It wasn't long, but it was simple, and it was kind of straight to the point. And here's what it was, and then here is what my mindset behind the thing is. So I kind of do the same thing that Liz does. I thank them. Thank you so much for watching my story. Thank you so much for being present on my profile. Thank you so much for sending me that message a couple of days ago. Thank you so much for liking my photo. Thank you. And then I straight up ask them, girl, you've been following me and you've been such a big supporter of mine. Like, I'm just curious, are you going to stay supporting me, or do you want in on one of my boot camps? Do you want in on one of my challenge groups? Like, what do you think? Because I'm posting that in my stories. That person has saw that. So I don't say, what do you think? But I say, are you here to support me? Or would you like an invite to, like, are you trying to get into one of my boot camps? And then I tagline that at the bottom. So I thank them. I'm like, are you supporting me? Are you here for the boot camps? And then my very last sentence to them is, I cannot wait to grow closer to you and get to know you a little bit more, because that's who I am. I do grow close to the people that join me. I know each and every one of my girls, just like Liz says, I know who's helped me. I know who they are. I know what they're going through. I know what their life looks like. So I can't wait to hear about this potential person that is going to allow me to step in and change their life. And if they say, nope, I'm just supporting, guess what? My conversation doesn't end there. Then I can make it more personal. Then I can say, you know, something that catches my eye about their profile. I can compliment them on their babies or their families, and I can start opening up another can of worms. Do you know that sometimes people will say, you know what, actually, I think I am kind of interested. This is why I said no. Sometimes it takes a little bit more. You have got to stop thinking that when you send that out, that they're going to, like, if they say no, if they say that they're just a supporter, for now, there's something behind that door. There's probably a hesitation. So talk to them like they're already your friend, like they're already part of your girl tribe, because they're probably going to be part of that pretty soon. And if they write you off completely, if they ghost you, if they read it and don't respond, that's okay. Like it's either not your person or it's not their season. You have to remember everybody has a season. I said no 6 months consecutively. I said no, never in my wildest dreams. And now I'm here with all of you girls. Like, what? So back to you, Amanda, I think that you need to come up with a couple of scripts that sound like you. I would personally save them, and then I would copy and paste them, but not copy and paste them blankly. Do it with purpose. Find something that's relatable, tweak it, but that should literally take you a minute if you're doing that. Cool.
Can I just say something too on top of that? I won't try to take much more of your time, guys. I'm sorry. When it comes to scripts, when I said I don't believe in scripts, like providing them to my team because they're not signing up with me, they're signing up with you, that doesn't mean I don't use them. I think I kind of alluded to that I have one that I tweak. And when I gave you that example of like, hey, I saw you working out with your kids, blah, 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 that message, I have the bones of it in a note on my phone. And what makes it easy and saves me even more time, I'll use hashtags, and depending on who I'm looking up that day, I can make a lot of that message stay the same and just edit names and specific parts of their profile. So maybe I'm only reaching out to, like Bible study girls. And then I'll talk about like, I'm so happy when I connect with other girls on here who love to share authentically and aren't afraid to talk about the way that they love Jesus. Like, thank you for being you. That'll be my compliment section. The rest is almost the same. Like the other 3 parts of my PB&J formula, I basically only revise like that second part. And if I'm looking up people based on hashtags, I don't have to change much but the name. And it's still authentic. That's me. I still believe those things because I wouldn't be messaging them if I didn't believe that they'd be good at this or I'd want to connect with them. But it saves me time too. So when you ask like, should I be focusing on the quality or should I be focusing on saving time? Do both. Do the legwork now so you can save time and send quality messages. Take time to write out a couple scripts like Kaylee said so you can pull them out when you need them and then send them on the fly so that it only takes 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Max.
Absolutely. Hopefully that answers your question, Amanda. Liz, is it okay that I just share my screen and talk about that follow-up really quick? And then if anybody else has any questions, please ask away. And I'm going to try and keep this super, super short and sweet. I think that piggybacking off of the whole invite, most of your sales, most of your people who are going to join you, most of the people that you're going to get started on their journey with you and their own, is it comes from the follow-up. I'm looking at the chat and so many of you said no the first time. Like, raise your hand if you said no the first time, because I was one of those people. Okay, so there's a couple of us that literally were like, no thank you, no ma'am, I'm not interested. So hopefully this isn't illegal or anything, but Amy shared a post from another coach, and it's in one of our groups. It's part of the Happy, Healthy, Humble. I think it's like the Business Builders group or whatever. But anyways, when I read it 3 times, and my post for you girls tomorrow is crafted from this. So I want to share this with you, and I know that some of you are like, stop talking, Kaylee, but I promise this is gold. And then I'm going to open up the floor to questions, right, Liz? And then you guys can go. But I'm hoping that after we've talked about inviting and tomorrow with the follow-ups, and I'm sharing this with you, that by next week, by this weekend, you're going to feel so much better. Obviously, there's other things that we need to address, but let me share my screen really quick so you can see what I see. Okay, which isn't this. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you, and please, Jesus, be with me and let these words flow like they should, but I'm going to read this to you. It's a little long, but I hope that the chat starts blowing up because this should click and this should make sense. And if you are already part of Happy, Healthy, Humble, which is your upline, and you've seen this, I'm sorry, but I'm going to share it again. So Amy wrote, I saw this from another coach, and it's literally gold. So she says, I know what you're thinking. Why am I not getting more yeses from all of these invites, even though it's been like 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months? Well, that's not quite how it works. Want to know the secret to high numbers? It's a very, very simple formula I got from a very successful salesman. One of the things I did I'm sorry guys, I have terrible eyes. I did when I was new was seek mentorship. See, I told you guys I'm a terrible reader. And skill building from people in sales. I knew that was my issue, not my belief, not my drive, not my work ethic, but my skills. Who else is like, okay, yes, I feel you, girl. As a new coach or even a seasoned coach, we all have skills we need to sharpen. So everyone raise your hand if inviting is something that you need to sharpen, because I'm not afraid to raise mine. That's something that I desperately need help with, okay? So what's the formula? Invites plus follow-ups equals high numbers. Please take note that she's saying invites and follow-ups, they go together like this. You cannot just invite somebody and never speak to them again. You can't send one follow-up and never follow up again, okay? You're not technically going to get all the yeses from the initial invite, but you should start to see success from them within the next 7 days if you follow up. She put that in all caps, if you follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up, not the invite. And she said that 3 times. That's pretty important. The fortune is in the follow-up, not the invite. Take a look at these statistics. So she breaks it down. 44% of sales personnel give up after 1 no. 22% give up after 2 no's. 14% give up after 3 no's. 12% after 4. Thus, 92% of salespeople, 92% give up after hearing no, not yet, or not now, up to 4 times, which basically means that 8% are making 80% of the sales. What if we are that 8%, guys? What if we are not taking no for an answer? What if we are following up until we're blue in the face? What if we are that 8%? Think about how many other people are missing out on that opportunity because they're part of the 92. But we on this call are part of the 8%. And she says, you know who that 8% is? The top coaches. Mind blown. Not because they are so pretty, witty, or have amazing Instagrams, but because they are always following up. They see that the follow-up is being of service, helping and nudging people in the right direction. Following up means that you are checking your ego in the service of others because you know that they need this. So there, now you know the secret, and this should be your pipeline. And lucky for you girls, I totally copy and pasted day 1 through day 7, and I put it in tomorrow's post, so I'm not even gonna read it and spend time on it. But check it out, like look at it for a minute. Day 1 and day 2 are strictly inviting 20 plus people. Day 3, you're still inviting, but then you're going back and you're following up. Day 4, day 5, you're going back and following up. Day 6, you're going back and following up. Do you see how many follow-up days are in here? So if this is something that you're struggling with, like pull out your phone, take a screenshot, write it down, wait for tomorrow's post to come out, whatever. But this is something that seriously is, this is gonna be my new routine. I am implementing this because that is so important, and that is not something that I do right now. I'm just being real with you guys, it's not. So if you're struggling, if you're like, I don't know where the follow-up comes in, how do I follow up? When do I follow up? What does that look like? It is literally written for you right here. So you should, and I love you all, but you should never ask me again what following up looks like, because it's written right here for you. It's written here for all of us, right? So how can you take this and how can you use it? She also goes on to say all the people who don't respond get moved to your follow-up in a week, pipeline, or list, or however you track. So if nobody's responding in this, then they go up to follow-up in a week. It says follow up with days 1 through 7 again after a week, as well as repeating your day 1 through 7 invite or follow-up schedule every 3 days or so. Then move all of the people who don't respond to your follow-up in a month list, or pipeline, or however you follow up. So you're going to follow up again after 30 days. Then move all of the people who don't respond to your 30 days follow-up list. This is what will build momentum, what you do now. That's so important, guys. The last paragraph, I promise, because I'm totally butchering this. She says, do you see how all of those no's, or as I like to call them, planted seeds? I have chills. I love that she says that, planted seeds. Then turn into those high numbers. You have got to stop attaching feelings to the business building activities. It's the job. It's the paycheck. It's the meat and potatoes. Get over your damn self and check your ego at the door and work. Cool, right? Did that impact anybody? Was that so cool? When I read that, I was like, wow, it's like all coming together. So like I said, tomorrow's post is going to be geared towards that. I'm going to have an activity for you, but I just want you girls to know that it really is in the follow-up. So if you're not following up now, maybe this is something that this is what you needed to hear, or this is what you needed to see for your business to turn the corner. You know? Liz, anything?
I think that's a pretty sweet note to end on, and it should make everyone look forward to tomorrow morning's post in our Diamond internship. And for the rest of the girls who are here and present and ready to work their businesses in whatever season they're in right now, hopefully this makes you more confident in gaining some footing, because if you had it all figured out, you wouldn't be here. So take what Kaylee has to say, you know, what she shared from other coaches, and just know that we don't have all the answers, but what we can do is share what's worked for us and other coaches. And this business is just duplication and being willing to learn. So if you're willing to put tonight to action, you will see change. But you need to show up. Just show up over and over and over again. That's all you got to do. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple.
Absolutely. After that, I really have nothing to say other than thank you so much for being so flexible and being on here tonight. It really means the world to both Liz and I, and I'm just so proud of each and every one of you. I've seen consistency from each and every one of you, and it's just so motivating and so driving, and I want you to take a look at all of the faces that are on here. I know I always say that, but these are your fellow Diamond coaches, and I don't say that lightly, and I get chills every time I look at each and every one of you as a Diamond coach, because that's what you are in my eyes, and I know that's what you are in Lizzie's eyes. And I am just so proud of you for making this a non-negotiable tonight. I'm so proud of you for showing up and being present and speaking tonight and all of the, just everything. I'm really proud. And it's so cool to know that this is only day 3 and like we're on fire. Like this is so cool. It's amazing. So I hope that you girlies have a wonderful evening, and thank you again for just showing up and being so present.
Love you guys. I'm going to end the recording. If you want to get in on a team picture, hang out for a sec.